My name is Dr. Jesus Ulloa. I'm the STEAM Programs Coordinator for Sweetwater Union High School District. And before we go into details with Alex, I'm going to introduce Alex to you in a little bit. Let me tell you what we're here for. Today we're here to explain what the challenge of this year looks like. And let me apologize ourselves for not being able to be live. We had several schools ready to be watching. But we're recording, and this recording, hopefully you're watching it. It's being posted, so thank you for watching. And before we start, let me just acknowledge some of the sponsors and collaborators of this program. One of them, as you can see in the logo of our event, is Naver. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Naval Air Systems Command. Got it right? Naval Air Systems Command, especially the Science Enrichment Program under the leadership of Claudia Garcia. Also, Jose Ramos has been involved with this program since the beginning. He is a B-22 rotors engineer, and today with us we have Alex Sanchez. He's an F-18 structures engineer, and we're going to get to Alex in a little bit. So thank you, Naver, for your partnership and your collaboration. We appreciate everything you've done with us and with our students. With that, we also want to thank Palomar and Southwestern College, especially Dr. Wing and Dr. Jano for their continued support. And it's a great collaboration. And actually, through their collaboration, there's something there for the students that will benefit from. So, and we're going to get into those details in a little bit. We also want to thank the Board of Trustees of the Sweetwater Union High School District for their continued support, our amazing superintendent, Dr. Janey, our Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Ana Maria Alvarez, and our new Director of College and Career Readiness Office, Jeff Cover, for their continued support and for allowing us to have fun with the kids and bring new technology and innovation into our schools. So with that, let me introduce you, our program leader for this season. This is 2019-2020 UAS-Drone Challenge. Yep. And it took a couple years for Naver to let us use the word drone. You should know that. So with that, let me tell you who Alex Sanchez is. Alex, as I said before, he is an F-18 structures engineer. He's been with Naver for about 4.5 years. He's a mechanical engineer. He graduated from UC Merced, and aside from being a mechanical engineer and working on F-18s, he likes rock climbing and mountain bike activities. So tell us a little bit of who you are and why you're here, Alex.
Again, as Leo said, I'm an F-18 engineer. I've been working at Naver for the last 4 years, and I've been involved in this program since the inception, back 4 years as well. With Jose Ramos and Nick Androla, Juliana and Chris Linko. And basically, I've been dealing with drones for about 6 years already. Started in my undergraduate career and just loved it since. And so when Jose started up with this program with Naver and NCEP, I just wanted to join, and I've been there since. So I love interacting with the students and getting them to experience what capabilities we can have with the UAS system. So,
and something that we know is Jose Ramos. He's taking a break.
Yeah,
he's taking a break from participating this year. He said he's taking a break, but he is actively engaged.
He is,
as we all know, and we appreciate his leadership, his support, and his creativity. So we know, Jose, you're watching. Thank you. So with that, Alex, now let's talk about this year's challenge. We'll learn a lot through this first 3 years. So what are the big changes, or what is the most relevant that we should explain to the students who are coming back or new students?
Okay. So again, as I initially talked about the drone here, we're going to go back to the quad, Junebug number 2.0. So that's going to be one of the major changes, but the biggest one will be we're going to be doing this challenge across the whole school year, not just either fall semester or spring semester. I believe that's going to be the biggest change that we have this challenge year. We thought that would be the best for your guys' interests. We saw that one of the major challenges was schools being able to fly or not getting enough flight time. So we're going to break this down to 3 main challenges throughout the school year. From now up until May, we'll be participating in this challenge. The first challenge day will be sometime in November, December, and that will just be something to get you guys up and running, make sure your aircraft is flight worthy. The second challenge will be in February, March, and the third challenge will be April, May.
So hold on. So what you're saying is, instead of having a one-day event, actually last year it was a two-day event.
Correct.
In the past 2 years, we've had like Friday, Saturday, right? So instead of having that, now we're breaking down the whole challenge in 3 small events.
Correct.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the purpose of doing that is we want to make sure that everyone is successful and that the drones are flying.
Yeah, before the major challenge day, yes.
And at every event, they're going to be hopefully improving their drones.
Yep.
They're improving their flight skills and abilities. But again, it's not a complicated process. It's just learning from their mistakes. Mm-hmm. Correct?
Yep.
Okay, so let me go over real quick with who can be part of the team.
Okay.
And if you're watching this, that means that you're part of the team. So congratulations for being part of your school team. Basically, anyone under the leadership of the designated teacher can be part of the team. But the day of the challenges, we want to see a team of 6 to 8 students, which a third of the team, we ask them to be non-seniors. And do you know why we want non-seniors involved?
Just for when they have the upcoming challenges next year, they'll be returning students, and they won't just be leaving.
We want students coming back the following year and carrying on with activities and tasks that they were involved with in the previous year. Also, a requirement for each team is to have at least one female student. Do you know why?
It's important to get the females into STEM.
That is important, but most importantly, you will realize that the girls will keep you guys in check.
That's true.
They are organized, they are amazing, they're great communicators, and every team will benefit not just by having one, hopefully more than one girl in each team. So those are the students that qualify to be part of a team. So now let's talk about the safety of this program. So Alex, what about the requirements for each team? And I know you were trying to explain AMA and FAA regulations.
Yes. So number one, I guess, aspect of this challenge would be your guys' safety. We recommend, or this required from this challenge, that all students participating sign up for the AMA registration. So it's Academy Model Aeronautics. You will get a number from this registration, and it basically provides you insurance to be a pilot. It also gives you the ability to join any other club sites to practice your flying. And there's some by SeaWorld. There's other club flight programs around the San Diego County. And then also that we require that you guys register through FAA registration. Any quad that you fly or any drone that you fly above 0.55 pounds, you require to register it yourself as a pilot. And so this here counts as one of those quads. So aside from being an AMA registration member, which is free, you also have to sign up for FAA, which is a $5 charge. But it's good for 3 years. So if you have been in this challenge prior to this year,
most likely already.
Yeah, you will have that registration completed already. And so we require that you guys when you fly your drone, to fly with these 2 numbers attached to your quad. So we have here from this quad here, their AMA number and the FAA number, and that was previously attached to this quad here, but I took it off.
So that means that Sweetwater High was following the rules?
Yes.
Right?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen many schools follow this rule, but we will be enforcing that this year.
Okay. Yeah. And, there's a lot of regulations involving drones on UAVs or UAS or SUAS. And one of the benefits of the partnerships that we have this year with Southwestern College and Palomar College is we're going to require every student participating in the challenge to take an online self-paced class to learn about the safety regulations around UAVs. Dr. Jano at Southwestern College has been able to provide this opportunity for students to get informed and to learn more about the safety regulations that involve flying drones. So we're going to email through your teachers the link to self-register to that class. It's not like a Monday, Wednesday, 3 to 5 class, but it's a self-regulating class. So you take it as you go. You can take it really quick, or you can take it through several weeks or months. So it's
Don't
going to
wait
be
till the last minute to take
yes.
it. Yeah.
So it's going to be a requirement. We're going to be checking, making sure that everyone went through that class for us to know that they have been covering all the bases when it comes down to safety.
Correct.
Now let's talk about the stuff. What are they getting?
All right.
Because we know that there's not much stuff to give, but we're going to give some stuff, right?
Right.
So what are they getting?
So everybody's going to get some kit, right, that would allow them to build a base model of this aircraft. Start at root.
Start at root.
We'll cover that later.
Santi right there, he's smiling and waving. We'll talk to Santiago Garza in a little bit.
Yes. Their company will be providing everything we need to build this base model. Here we have the APM, so basically the flight controller, the brains of the quad here. We have the props of different colors signifying forward and aft. And then we have power distribution boards, everything being supplied by Start Root. Enough to be able to get you up to this quad model here. All these yellow parts you see here are all 3D printed parts. Every school that's participating should have a 3D printer, and hopefully it's working.
Access to a
3D printer. So you'll be able to 3D print most of these yellow parts here, all these yellow parts, from STL files that Jose had previously provided and years prior to this.
And I don't know, Santi, if you can go to the second tab. That is the website of the challenge, and there's on the right side of that, the website address is CCR for college and career, ccr.sweetwaterschools.org/STEAM/UAS, correct?
Yes. So if you were to go to that website, you'll be able to get all the STL files.
Yes.
From there.
There's on the right side menu, it says information for coaches. Right there, you're going to find the links to the Google Drive folder where all the STL files for the mechanical components live.
And then also...
And the rules and regulations for event number 1. Remember, this year the challenge is divided in 3 different events. Event number 1, that's going to happen between November and December.
Correct.
Event number 2, that will happen...
We have it at February, March.
March. And then the last event will be...
April, May.
Yeah. So that's the plan, and that's where all the resources are hosted. So let me make sure that I'm getting this right. So every team, returning team, is getting a new flight controller. So that means that if you've been part of the challenge for more than 3 years, well, actually this is the 4th year, so more than 2 years, you already have stuff to play with. But we don't want you to take apart the drone from last year. So if you had a hexacopter or a quadcopter, what we want you to be able to build a new one and start flying right away with the one you used last year. So we're not changing the flight controller, the same one, Ardu Pilot, correct?
Correct.
We have propellers.
Same propellers, same motors.
We're going to give him new motors.
Yes.
Same motors from last year, but we're going to give him extra motors, motor controllers, and
ESCs. Electronic speed controllers are the
Electronic
same.
speed controllers.
The only thing changing this year, I think, is the power distribution.
What about batteries and?
Batteries, and we're not supplying this.
We're not supplying because
You're
they've
using
been
your
getting
old
this
one.
every year.
Correct.
So they should have, if they've been doing this, they should have 3 of this already.
Correct.
What about batteries?
Batteries, no.
We're not giving batteries this year. Remember, we're recycling, reusing, and repurposing, and we want to be efficient with resources, right? So you have plenty of batteries. So you're not going to get brand new batteries. You're not going to get a new one of this because most likely you have 3 of this already. But you're going to get enough electronics to build a new quadcopter without taking apart the one that you had from last year or the year before. And that's because we want you guys to start flying right away and get comfortable.
Correct.
Right?
If we do it November, December before Christmas break, that gives you about 8 weeks.
Yes.
To complete the first challenge. So.
And we're going to go in a little bit to explain what the first challenge is for this event. But let's talk about, so they're getting access to STL files, print all the mechanical.
Correct.
Which, by the way, this program is so innovative that in 2017 we were recognized by the Classroom of the Future Foundation as an innovative program. So, good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. We're doing something good.
It's working.
3D printing, electronics, mechanical components, flying, crashing, building,
crashing,
building,
Yeah.
crashing. Right. So with that, please be safe, and I will advise you, if you're going to be trying to fly like maybe inside the tennis courts or by the baseball
field with the
field
cages or
where the
something.
cages are,
Yeah.
so everyone is safe. But we know that your teachers are very careful with how you guys are handling this activities
Yeah.
on site, right? So now let's talk about the mentorship.
Correct. So the
What
mentors.
about, are we going to have mentors this year?
Yes. This year we're a little bit lower on the mentors. We're hoping for at least one mentor per school this
Okay.
year. Last year's we had two. But this year we're hoping for at least one per school. And again, they will be provided by NAVAIR. There will be NAVAIR employees. So
And will a specific mentor be assigned to each school?
yes. And then there will be some floaters that
Okay.
specialize in electronics, specialize in hardware or the structure of the quad here. So they will be jumping from school to school depending on the needs of you guys. So.
Okay. And so communication is important, and we have something really cool this year because we've learned throughout the years that a little issue that's affecting one team in one school is also affecting other schools, but we're not providing the tools for them to communicate. So we're going to get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
So before we introduce the mentors, the NAVAIR engineers that we have with us today, and I'm impressed. Every year we get new people, very smiley, good-looking people, and then at the end of the season, the smile goes bigger. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this year. Now, tell us, Alex, about the team roles.
So the team roles, it's basically breaking down a chief engineer, financial administrator. We have multiple pilots. So these are team roles for participants of this program. So we have a lot of team roles here that we basically want every single member to be doing something in this program. We don't want anybody sitting down, just watching someone else build it or flying it.
Are these roles like mandatory, or can, for instance, what if one team says, okay, we have a suggested team role as chief engineer, but what do they call him? CFO or CAEO
That
or
is fine.
big honcho, whatever.
That is fine with me as long as they document it and give it the proper responsibilities, I guess. The way you call it doesn't really matter.
Okay,
Yeah.
but we want every team member to be assigned a responsibility.
Correct.
What about the pilots? How many can fly? Like, I want to fly. Let's say I'm a high school student.
Right.
Building a school, I want to fly.
I would hope everybody in the team can fly.
Okay.
But again, you have to have the FAA registration. So the $5 registration would basically make you a pilot. And you are required for every challenge to have a different pilot fly the quad.
Okay.
So you cannot just depend on one excellent flyer.
So what if we have an excellent flyer and visiting from Sweetwater High a couple years back, we have one of those excellent flyers, right? He was flying every single mission.
Okay.
Is that something that we're going to allow this year?
No,
or
we're
we need
not.
more than one pilot?
We have to have more than one pilot. I mean, if it all comes down to one person winning the challenge, that's not fair for everybody. So.
Okay, so there you have it. That's why we're breaking down the challenge throughout the year in 3 smaller events, so we have the opportunity for other students to become proficient at flying.
Yep.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now let's talk about collaboration and communication. So this is an example of the collaboration communication we're going to have. On the website, if Santi can come back, there's also a section where you can access videos that show Jose doing basic constructions during the assembly process. So you're going to click over there, you're going to see some videos explaining some things. Not everything, but some very crucial things. So you have that you have access to that information, so it can help you during the build process. And if I were you, I'll start printing right away, because as you know, printing takes a significant amount of time. So you can print more than one piece at a time, and just get to print right away. Now with that, if Santi gets back to the original page, there's a new tool that, through our collaboration with Start a Route, it's a company that was created by a former Sweetwater Union High School District student, actually 2 students, and they've been running this company for 3 years now.
Yep.
And they've been able to sustain and support the work that we do with this project, because it's difficult to get access to these components. And also, because of the background and their interest in being successful, for you to be successful, and listening to a request about, we need something that can help the students be more active and communicating between them. So they created something really cool, and we're calling it Student Forum.
So if you go back, Santi, to the previous one, also that's part of the website. On the right side of the website, you're going to see the student forum link. Before you explain, Santiago, is that okay if I call you Santi?
Yes, definitely.
Santi, would you, before you take us into the details of what that is, can you tell us who you are and why you're here and what is that thing?
Definitely. So my name is Santiago Garza. I, like Mr. Yoa said, am a former student of the Sweetwater Union High School District. I got started very much like all of you, where I was part of the Eastlake High School robotics team back when they only had FIRST Robotics. Now they participate in many competitions, and it was what gave me my start into engineering and made me the person I am today. And so I really like to pay that back, and this business has allowed me to do that for you guys.
Excellent. So now, what is that? Student Forum.
So we created this website. If you go to uas.startatroot.com, it is a forum for just this challenge. So if you are a student, mentor, or teacher, you will have access to this. No other people can create an account. So this is specifically just for you guys to talk and collaborate between schools, between teachers, between mentors, so that you can solve problems faster and not have to deal with the same problem twice. Something that comes up in industry a lot, I don't know if you guys have heard it before, is tribal knowledge. Has that been something that you guys have heard before? So tribal knowledge is something that we refer to as the thoughts and ideas and knowledge that isn't put on paper. It's communicated, it's held by somebody's brain, and after that person is gone, that information is gone. And so what we're trying to do here is mitigate and make sure that that tribal knowledge stays within the system and that you guys can grow. It's not starting from the base all over again.
So will the students and teachers be able to create accounts, or we're going to give you their information and you're going to create the accounts? So how that's that going to work?
Yes. So for right now, the teachers will have to email webmaster@start@root with a roster of all the students, their first name, last name, and the email that they want to have linked to that account. That is the only information that we're requesting at this time for you to join. The only rule we have is that you must be 13 or older to join. That is legal requirements for being a member on an online forum. And so teachers will have the ability to moderate the forum. So if you guys notice that there is something that shouldn't be discussed, teachers have the full ability to moderate, remove, and block posts that students have made. And that's just so that we have a positive environment in here and there isn't any toxic behavior or language that is happening between the teams.
I was fortunate to be part of a conference yesterday at the Naval Base San Diego, and I met a pilot, Commander Park. Hopefully he's watching, because I shared with him information about our program, and he agreed to become a judge at one of our events. So we're going to get that going. But one of the things that we talked was about the safety and the confidentiality of information sometimes. And I think this vehicle is going to help us get there. So it is important for the teachers to either communicate directly to you through that website,
yes,
and or provide me the list, and I'll forward that list to you. And you will create those accounts. And once the accounts are created, are the students getting and the teachers getting an email saying, this is your login?
Yes, so once I create the account, you will receive an email instantly asking you to create a password. I do not have your password. That is something that you will have to do as soon as that comes in. And as soon as you get that, you will be able to log in here, just like I will at the moment, and you'll, instead of this being strictly read, because if you go in right now, you can only read what's in here, but if you want to ask or follow up, you would have to be a user. So if I log in, you then have the ability to post, ask questions, create new forums and topics on this website. So it's easy as that to log in. And as soon as you're logged in, you can actually create a reply, create your own topics. We just try this. It's as easy as that to start talking to everybody on this forum. And there's a few different functionalities that are to be aware of. If you want to be notified of replies to a thread, you can choose to be notified. If you don't want to receive all of that into your inbox, you can make sure that that button is not clicked.
Excellent. Yeah, we've tried emails before. We've tried Google Drive. We've tried different things. So hopefully, we tried Basecamp with teachers and collaborators. So hopefully this is going to be a tool that is going to assist the students, the teachers, and to improve the communication between the mentors and the students. So.
Right. And again, please use this as often and as early as you can. And don't wait till the last 2-3 weeks before the final challenge data.
Yes.
Start asking questions. So.
Yes.
The more you use it, the more value that comes, and over time you will have more and more valuable information just within this forum.
That's great. What do you think?
Love it.
So thank you very much. Santiago Garza, start at root, and Nahum Garcia is not in today, but thank you to Nahum Garcia too. By the way, we are being recorded at Mr. Kovian's CTE Engineering Classroom at Sweetwater High School. So, Mr. Kovian, thank you for hosting us today. And with that, now let's go and introduce the mentors that we're going to have this year.
All right. So we're going to present some of the mentors that are here today. Again, we don't have all the mentors here, nor are they assigned to a specific school, so they'll just be coming up here and presenting themselves and talking about themselves a little bit. So the first one up, we have John Schneider. Yeah, you can go ahead and sit down here. And do a little spiel.
Yeah, that one. Hey everyone, I'm John Schneider. I'm a mechanical material testing engineer for NavAir. Graduated from California State University Long Beach in 2015. My current work position has me designing, fabricating, and prototyping test equipment and prototype equipment for support of my department. Expectations for high school students? Guys, have fun, learn something. I mean, get out there, get your hands dirty. That's what this is all about. So, let's do it.
Thanks, John. All right. The next one up will be, let's go, Ernest Sadovnikov.
Hi. So my name is Ernest Sadovnikov. My career, I'm an aerospace engineer for NavAir. I've been with NavAir for 4.5 years. I attended UCSD here in San Diego. My work position, I work right now for a mechanical subsystems group within the F-18 air vehicle department, and just work with different mechanical subassemblies like yoke stick, launchers, and things like that. So I don't know my high school assignment yet, but my expectation for high school students, that everybody will kind of work together and collaborate. We always like to call this a challenge, because we want kind of everybody to feel like you're part of the same team, and that's why we have the website, so we can share all the trials and tribulations, and hopefully at the end of this competition or challenge, everybody is going to be flying and having fun basically. So yep,
Thank you.
That's it. Thank
Appreciate
you.
It. Next we have John Kowatno.
Hello everyone. Alright, so my name is John Kulwatno. I'm a mechanical engineer who graduated from Florida International University. Right now I'm an aerospace engineer for NavAir. I've been there about a year and a half now. And my position in NavAir right now is F-18 landing gear, helping out with all the different components in the production. My expectation for my high school students is that, just like John Schneider said, just to have fun, collaborate together, work together, and enjoy the process of coming up with an idea, going through the engineering process, and developing this drone. So,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
Next up we have Marcus Ito.
My name is Marcus Ito. I've been an aerospace engineer at NavAir for just under a year. I went to Worcester Polytechnic Institute, class of 2013. And at NavAir, I do hydraulic components for the landing, arresting, and catapult systems for the F-18. As far as my expectations for students, I expect you to have fun, be safe, and work through the process of bringing something that you build by yourselves with the help of your peers to eventually a functional component that you can be proud of.
Fair enough. Thank you. Next up, we have Nick Condrella.
All right, hello. My name's Nick Candrella. Some of you might recognize me from a couple previous years on this program. I think this is the fourth time.
year?
Yep.
Yeah.
So previously started here mentoring with Sweetwater. Mentored Hilltop for 2 years, and this year we'll find out where I go. I am a structures engineer over on the F-18 fleet support team at North Island. Aerospace engineer by training. Went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, Daytona Beach, Florida. Did a master's degree online through Naval Postgraduate School in systems engineering. Work position responsibilities, expectation for high school students. The hardest part of engineering, I mean, really, this is to train you guys to become engineers, is what we're trying to encourage. And one of the hardest part is to take that thing that's in your brain, that product, that system, that methodology, and take it and then get it out to that on the table and have it work, and have it work like you think it should work, which is always the struggle. So that's really my expectation. That and have fun. So
Thank you.
that's the plan.
All right. Next up, we have Shelby Sturman.
Hi everyone, I'm Shelby and I'm an aerospace engineer at NavAir, and I've been there for a year and a half now almost. I graduated from the University of Arizona in 2018, and right now I'm on the flight controls team for the F-18 platform, so I work a lot with the flight computer and the control systems in the cockpit. My expectations are just to have fun and get excited about engineering.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Sarah Arredondo.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Arredondo. I am a materials engineer working for NavAir. Been there for about 2 months now, so fairly new. I graduated from San Diego State with a mechanical engineering degree. My expectations for the students that I'll be working with is to have fun, and hopefully by the end of this you learn something that you didn't know before, and definitely getting hands-on experience. That's always good. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Next up, we have Thomas Kepshaw.
Hey, how's it going? What's up, guys? My name is Thomas Kepshaw. I'm an aerospace engineer over at the Coronado Naval Base for NavAir. And I graduated with an aerospace engineering degree from San Diego State University. And my expectations for high school students, just to participate and bring your creativity.
Cool. Those are big. Thank you. We have Todd Munson here.
Hi everyone, my name is Todd Munson. I am a materials engineer for NavAir at the Materials Lab, and I do shop support for production for production shops. I went to Drexel University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been at NavAir since June. Most of my career was with was building ships, so hopefully I can build an aircraft that won't crash. So it was successful with ships, so we'll see what happens with the aircraft. And that's my my advice or my input to the students is just have fun, learn how to build something that works, and hopefully it's interesting to you, and maybe it'll be interesting to you later on, as you after you move on from high school. So thanks.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have Jessica Porras.
Hi, my name is Jessica Porras. I'm a materials engineer for the Materials Lab. I've been with NavAir for a little bit over a year, almost a year and a half. I went to the University of Texas in El Paso, graduated with a graduate degree in metallurgical material science engineering, and I do shop support as well for manufacturing, heat treat, non-destructive inspection, and my expectations for the students, I would say, is 3 things: to be positive, to not give up, and to have fun.
Thank you. Appreciate it. There you have it. You have some of the mentors that will be participating this year. We didn't get all of them. We have a few that weren't able to make it today, but we will get a list going with all the mentors that will be assigned to each of the schools. Thank you.
Now, allow me to introduce to you John Alvarado. He is with the Good Neighbor Project. So, John, have you seen these things before?
A few times.
A few times?
Yeah.
So, can you tell us why it is important for us to be playing with drones? I mean, learning about drones.
Well, first of all, let me say this. I've been a school teacher for the last 32 years. I was a boat builder for 20 plus years. I built my first boat when I was 12 years old, one that I could actually row. So I've been a builder all my life, but I got to tell you this. I'm absolutely fascinated and excited about this particular program. I used to be a private pilot, and while it's a little different than the drones that you guys are getting ready to build, as a teacher, I'm all about core values, education, and at the end of the day, you got to have a job. It's what's going to make all the difference in the world in your particular life. I'm hoping that the young people that are going to be building these things will also see how the industry is moving. Here not too long ago, the San Diego was designated 1 out of 10 cities out of all the United States, drone everything. And that being the case, I'm currently working with the City of San Diego, City of National City. We have a program over here at National City Adult School. We're taking students and we're getting them their FAA 107 license. And I'm working it from the back end. I've now got several companies who are willing to take our students at 16 years of age and older and start them on their very first job at $25 to $30 an hour.
So hold on. So we're exposing our students to all this wonderful mechanical, aerospace, and materials engineers, and we want them to get exposed to STEM careers. So you're saying that yes, being in engineering school is amazing, but there's a lot of opportunities in between.
Yes, and not everyone is going to be an engineer. I wish they were. I wish that they all would go to college, but that's just not the case. For whatever reason, we have a real problem right now with individuals not attending college or waiting to put it off until a later date. Well, with most of those young people, they're thinking, I've been in school for 12 years now, I'll just go work at one of the local restaurants, bust some dishes or wash some dishes. And I got to tell you, at $30 an hour, it's a lot better than washing dishes and doing this. Most of the young people right now already have the thumb memory needed. All they need now is the license.
Well, let me share this with you. I was playing with a drone and a gamer, and I said, "There you go, you're an expert." He said, "You know what? I get everything, but the controls are upside down. So when I go up, it goes down. When I go down, it goes up." So you're right. They have the skills, they have the abilities, and this is something that they can benefit from.
Most definitely, and we take it one step further. The actual drones that are being used by industry, I'm getting ready to buy approximately $30,000 worth of drones that the industry is currently using, and then we're actually going to train our students on those specific drones so that when on day one they know how to run a Mavic or a Matrice 210 or a P600, whatever the case might be, because this way they are an actual benefit to that company on the very first day.
Well, let me put you on the spot since I have you here and we're being recorded and you're getting those beautiful drones for industrial applications, I assume?
That's correct.
What if, this is a big what if, I'm a what if type of a guy. What if once you get those drones, we take some time and we go and visit every single school that has a UAS-Drone challenge team and we show them and maybe they can we will see if they can fly it.
Well, don't threaten me.
I'm just saying.
I think it's a wonderful idea, and it'll give us an opportunity to talk about all the different industries here in San Diego that are currently receiving tens of millions of dollars, getting ready to do something that's incredible. All of the solar farms, all of the windmills, they're all being inspected right now. I've got a gentleman who has a company that is working with one of the power companies here in California, and they need 20 people immediately to start doing inspections.
Power transmission lines?
On the transmission lines, yeah. And it's good pay. I really think we're onto something here. I mean, I've always been fascinated with aviation, and I believe it's something that our students can take to the next level. It's in everything right now, and I'm just I would love to go to the different
Let's
schools.
do it. You hear it here. John Alvarado, good project neighbor, said we're going to your school with those drones for you to check them out whenever those drones become available.
That's right.
John?
We'll do it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we've talked about almost everything, Alex, but I think we've missed one of the most important things: the details about the challenge of the event number one. So we said that the challenge is broken down and spread throughout the year in 3 events. So event number one that's happening November, December. What is that event about? What is the challenge?
So the main goal for the first event will be just to get you guys up and flying. Make sure you have an airworthy quad. Everything works. We came across to many times where the very last day on the challenge day, schools weren't able to fly for whatever reason. And so we want to make sure you guys are up and flying at very, very soon, at the very first stage. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be checking.
So event number one has 2 components. So it's not just flying. I mean, it's not a race or picking up things. So what is it exactly?
So we want to make sure you can just lift and hover. We don't worry about if you can maneuver through any obstacles or through or above anything. We just want to make sure your quad can get up from the floor and cover. So the first challenge will be broken up into 2 events, like you said. The first one will be simply just hover. Yeah, we have a specific height, and you have to stay within a certain diameter. Okay. That's specified in the rules, so make sure you check that out.
So if it's a windy day and they still have to be in control.
Correct.
You still have to hover.
Correct.
Okay. They're not maneuvering, but they have to be in control.
Correct. They have to be within this hula hoop diameter radial cylinder, I guess, in the air. Yep.
Okay, but it's bigger than a regular hula hoop, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So it's just an analogy.
Right. Yeah. You will not be flying with anything. It will just be some imaginary
hula hoop.
You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we'll work through those details.
Right.
Okay. And what's the second part of event number one?
So again, it will just be hovering. We want to make sure you guys are up in the air. But in this case, the second one will be you carrying a payload. So we want to see how much of a weight you can attach to this quad and hover for a minute.
So let me see this. I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. And again, the challenge was designed by Naver engineers, and these guys are all brainiacs, right? So they thought that maybe hovering was not hard enough. So now they're adding the payload for the second portion because most likely they have to compensate with extra weight.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about that extra payload weight? Are the students, is a predefined weight or?
It is not. So it's all up to the students to come up with attachment to your quad and that weight. So you will be scored on how much payload you're picking up, just the payload itself, not the attaching points. But the students will have to come up with the attaching points again to the quad, either up above or down below, and then you would come up that challenge day with your own payload.
Will the payload be attached to the quad before it takes off for the second part of this event, or they have to pick it up from somewhere?
No, it will be attached.
Okay. Yes. That makes a big difference.
Yes, and that payload has to be up at a certain height. I believe we have it at 1 foot from the floor. It cannot be touched on the ground while you're hovering.
So from event number one, there's going to be a first, second, and third place.
Correct.
Right? Then what about event number 2?
For the payload?
What is the challenge? No. So event 1 is the hovering, and then hovering with payload.
Correct.
What about event number 2?
For the second?
Yes.
We will disclose that after we're done with challenge 1.
So around Christmas,
we're going to get this information.
Correct. You will not know what challenge day 2 or 3 is about until after.
And let me ask you this, is there a reason why you don't want to disclose what number 2 is going to look like?
Yes, we wanted to have you guys focus specifically on flying this quad. So I know last year we had subsystems, and a lot of students were broken up into teams focusing on particular subsystems. But this year we want to make sure everybody's flying at a very early stage.
So we're taking baby steps to make sure that everyone is successful. And for event number 1, just making sure you're flying and you're in control, right? Event number 2, we don't know what that's going to be like.
We know.
Well,
you guys
know.
Yeah.
I kind of know.
Okay.
But don't tell them I know, because they're going to be asking me.
But I won't tell you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What about event number 3, the last one?
That one, again, you won't know until after challenge day 2, but that one will have a presentation. We always have presentations, so that will include a presentation and some portion of the challenges that we've been doing.
Okay, so in summary is 3 events, smaller events throughout the year. Each event will have a first, second, and third place. And at the third event, on top of having a first, second, and third,
we're going to have an overall first place.
Correct?
Yeah. So who's going to get all those trophies? I wonder.
We'll see.
High.
Sweetwater? Yeah.
Hilltop, Alomar. Alomar is a team that's building up, right?
Yeah, very enthusiastic.
It's like they did really well last year.
Yeah.
San Isidro, they joined the challenge last year. They're very, very passionate and they thrive.
Southwest High School, we have a new teacher leading the pack, and it's a CT engineering teacher. So I don't know. This is going to be
exciting.
It's going to be a difficult
task, I think.
Yeah.
So with that was the kickoff information. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Communicate through the forum that Star Root set up for us, and let's have fun this year.
Yeah. Thank you, Leos. Appreciate it.
Thank you.